am a man of many names. My birth name is Joseph Edward James III, but I've gone by Josh my entire life because that's what my mom chose to call me. She didn't want me to be named after my father, you see. Needless to say, they did end up getting divorced. But my original name Joseph comes from the Hebrew name Yosef. That is the 11th son of Jacob, whose lineage would go on to be the birth of Jesus. In actuality, I should be Joseph Edward James IV, but my great-great-grandfather had no middle name. He was just Joseph James. In fact, his original last name wasn't James at all. It was Araca. You see, he was born into an Italian family who migrated from Italy to New York. Once they settled, many of his family, cousins, brothers, sisters, turned to a life of crime. They were actually in a famous mafia in New York called the Black Hands. They were famous for kidnapping and blackmailing rich politicians and people of influence in New York and sending them letters with a black hand on it. That was their symbol. Because my great-grandfather didn't want to be associated with them, he chose to change his last name and join the military. When he signed up for the military, they asked him what his name was. He provided his real first name, Joseph, but chose the most common name he could think of, choosing James as his last name because he didn't want to be associated with a family of crime. So he joined the military as Joseph James. He would have a son and name him Joseph Edward James. That'd be my grandfather, the first. He would carry on the tradition, naming his son Joseph Edward James Jr., and I'm the third. Sad to say I didn't carry on the tradition, though I don't feel very bad about it. I did give my son the middle name Edward to carry on part of the tradition, but chose to die as the last Joseph Edward James. Despite my name having a long and deep meaning from all the Hebrew context of Joseph in the Hebrew and Joshua in the Bible, who would be the successor to Moses, my name wasn't really chosen for biblical meaning. It was just to carry on a tradition in my family. And it's needless to say that with 4 first names, I do get teased here and there by friends. Josh Jingleheimer Schmidt was a popular one amongst my friends to tease me, but despite my first names, I have gone by Josh my entire life. I did think about legally changing my name at some point, being that I've gone by a name that is not my legal identity my whole life, but ultimately chose against it and chose to embrace my nickname as well as my full legal name.